Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to another Club 100 video. We're at Ellough Park, a bit like Ella, or Ello there. I'm going to be honest, that was a terrible joke. Dan Seeger told it to me in the bathroom at the circuit, and yeah, to be honest, that one needs to be flushed down the toilet. But then again, what do you expect from Dan Seeger? Either way, we are getting ready to head on into our first heat of the day here at Ellough Park in Suffolk. There's a thumbs up. We're starting from down in PA. We've got Rob Newman alongside us. Sam Lovelace further up the road. Is going to be a banger of a heat. And I was out there on the previous day for the endurance, trying to get a bit of practice in, so I've got a feel of the circuit. The tyres were now completely shot, destroyed after Saturday's runnings, and it was now time to go racing. We're on the outside, we stay in our tram lines, and here we go. Lights go green, and where do we want to go? Inside, outside? We're going to pull over to the inside as quickly as we can. We think maybe there's going to be a space on the inside of Adam Breton, but the space kind of disappears as Dan Grocott comes out a little bit wide. And now we're going to look to the outside into this double right-hander. And actually, you know what? We kind of just about make it work. Stephen Westwood able to go up our inside, but we're going to send it right back up his inside into the left-hand hairpin. Stephen leaves us room, opens up the steering earlier, carries the speed. We don't take the position, but we stop it from getting any worse. And now it's just about searching for a way to clamber up through the field, but we go actually quite wide through that right hairpin. There's a cluster of about 3 or 4 cars in front of us. We're going to look to the outside because we are absolute lunatics, and as expected, it fails. Adam Sheargold goes up our inside. We got his inside. He then hits the green car in front. That causes all kinds of chaos. We don't get a good drive, and now we lose a ton of positions on corner exit. And I'm going to be honest, it was just really bad decision making for me on this opening lap. I was too feisty. I wanted to try to stick to Rob Newman, and as a result, I just lost a whole bunch of positions as we kind of muscle our way up the inside of the double right-hander. Now we're going to look to the inside of Dan Grocott. We come out a bit wide, and to be honest, I thought I was clear of Dan Grocott when I went for that move. It turns out that I wasn't, and as a result, I kind of squeezed him wide, and he had to take avoiding action around the tyre barriers. So I got a penalty for that, which, you know what, fair play. I thought I was further up than I was. Misjudgment from me, but either way, we get our head down, we get on with the race. As we come over the line, we'll see that penalty. Just want to give a quick shout out as well. If you don't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe. Also on TikTok and here on YouTube, I put out a load of shorts just with clips from different battles, either from these Club 100 races or from just random corporate races I do. So it makes for more kind of fun, bite-sized racing action. So if that's of interest to you and you just want to see those kind of hot laps or quick 20-second overtakes, then make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll leave a link to everything in the description. But we're closing in as we go through the left-hander to this 4-kart group, and we're going to send it up the inside of the right-hander down into the hairpin. We kind of make it work. This time we do leave space on the outside, and we're able to get the drive job done, and we go up another position. Now we're trying to catch up to this group of cars up ahead. We get a good run, but then we tap the rear end of Adam Sheargold and we lose all of our momentum. Now we've got to go on the defensive down into turn 1. We're able to pull over a little bit to the left, catch the apex through the right, and we're closing in to the driver up ahead as we go into the double right-hander. And I was really loving this double right-hander. I just love Ellough Park. At the end of the day, once I was starting to figure out how to do it, it's such a fun circuit. We overshoot our braking zone a little bit because I think he made a bit of a mistake, and here we have my contender for overtake of the season. We get a good drive, we're on the outside, we hang it around the outside of the right king, on the outside into the right hairpin, and we only go and make it work round the outside of 2 corners. That felt absolutely epic. I think that's my overtake of the season. But skipping forward from lap 4 to, I believe, lap 9, indeed it is, final lap of the race, I wasn't able to catch up to the guys up ahead. To be honest, looking back at this race, I think the bottom end of the car wasn't great. I know I say that every race. It's almost like my go-to excuse, but I was kind of looking at the exits out of some corners. That, combined with me just not driving well on this first heat, I just couldn't catch up to the group ahead. It was P5, but there was a bit of drama, and with drama, it is time for story time. Alright guys, I'm going to level with you all. I wanted to do like this funny kind of cringe story about me talking about myself in the third person, but it was just too cringe. So here's what happened. I went to Ellough Park. I got to the circuit in the morning. I weighed myself. I was 79.5 kilos. Minimum weight, 78 kilos. Great. 1.5 kilos over the weight limit. Went, took a piss, came back, went for my first race. Before I went out, I was like, let me double check my weight. Checked my weight, 77.5 kilos. I lost 2 kilos in a wee. Now, sadly, that is not good enough to go to the Guinness Book of World Records because the largest ever wee is 6 kilos. But hey, we're on our way towards it. So I was now 77.5 kilos, minimum weight 78 kilos. So I went, got myself some weight. I got myself a 1 kilo block. Yes, I did weigh it. It was pretty much exactly 1 kilo. Put it on the cart, went out, did my race, came back in, and last time I checked, 77.5 plus 1 kilo is 78.5. I came back in, I was 77.98. Very sad, 20 grams underweight. Underweight is still underweight. Thing that I don't get, I went from supposedly being 78.5 to 77.98. I sweated half a kilo over the course of a 10-minute race. Nobody sweats half a kilo in a 10-minute race. Formula 1 drivers sweat like 4 kilos over a 2-hour race. And that is far, far more intense than a karting race in the middle of October. This is not Singapore. So, I don't know what happened, but I did the biggest piss of my life, and I sweated out more. I sweated more than a Formula 1 driver at Singapore. Also, even if I was sweating, the sweat's going to stay in my suit over 10 minutes. It ain't going anywhere. So yeah, laws of physics were against me today. I'm not even that annoyed. But yeah, back to the racing. So that is a story of pitiful, woeful, serial. However, we're heading into Heat 2, so we're going to forget about that story. I couldn't forget about that story. It's all that was playing in my bloody head going into this second heat. And we're starting from pole. We've got Steph Theodoru behind us. We don't care about Steph, though. He's rubbish. We've got Rob Newman, though, alongside us. And I was very, very eager to have a battle with good old Rob and see if I could keep him behind me. Spoiler alert, I probably can't. But we are underway. We're racing. We'll pull over to the left-hand side so we can get a nice, decent run into turn 1. We missed the apex by a little bit. But at this point, it was just a kind of thought, right, I need to get my head down. I need to work through the field, and as we skip on to lap 2 through the hairpin, we don't get the best of runs, and at this point I was just keeping my head down. I wasn't looking behind. I just thought, right, put in the lap, hopefully Rob hasn't got past Steph. And then as I come into this right-hander, lo and behold, Rob Newman comes up my inside. We try to get the switch back, but we can't really pull it off, and I knew Steph was close by, so I thought, right, let's try to work with Rob. Try to stick behind Rob, try to learn, try to find that extra couple of tenths and improve that little bit. And to be honest, sitting behind Rob for 6 laps, I was able to find a bit of extra pace, and judging from the cars, I think I've got a slightly better car than Mr. Newman. And for 2 or 3 laps, I kind of stuck within, distance of Rob, within a second or so, lapping in the mid kind of 50s or the high 50s. But this hairpin, that hairpin 1 is where I was really losing time, and over the course of the race I was able to figure out how to take it properly. And as we skip over to the end of lap 8, you can see that's what Rob was able to pull from us in the space of about 6 laps. So you're talking about maybe a couple of tenths a lap, which isn't terrible. And then going on to the final lap, we get the fastest lap of the race. So I thought I'd just show what that fastest lap looks like. You want to take the curve through turn 1. It just helps pull that kart in and stops you from understeering out into this right-hander. I really like throwing in the kart, sliding it all the way through, and then just trying to get on the power as early as possible. Onto the brakes into this left-hander, on the power as early as possible. It's quite similar to hairpin 1 at Rye House, but also a bit different. Over the curve, then through the left-hander, so you don't kind of understeer out wide, completely flat over the flat curb, and then into this right-hander. Take as much curb as you can without kind of grinding the bottom of the car, so you can open up steering, lay it on the brakes into what is almost the final corner, the penultimate corner, and then into this corner. It's all about finding that right amount of curb, getting on the power, letting out the car, and that's a 50.371 here at Ellough Park. P2, I'll take it, especially second place in a heat with Rob Newman. I was very happy with this, and after my first heat of the day, I really needed it. So it gave me that confidence boost, and being able to sit behind Rob just allowed me to figure out where I was quick, where I needed to find time. And I was quick through the double right-hander, slow into the hairpin. I fixed the hairpin, so heading into this heat, I was very confident. Because I knew, right, if I can do a heat where I got a fast lap of the race with Rob Newman in it, for this heat, I should be able to do quite well. I mean, look who's in front of me. It's Steph. Samuel Lessery's on the right. Adam Britton has been having a really good couple of rounds. We're starting in P6, so it's time for us to get our heads down and try to clamber up through the field, because after that first race where we got excluded, we really need some good results. We're going to look to the outside because we are nutters and we are stupid. The outside doesn't work, guys. Don't do it. I don't know why I thought I could do it. I got into my own head and I did a big boo-boo. As a result, we lose a bit of positions. One to Mr. Bryn Albin, and that's going to make things difficult. We can't go up the inside. Bryn's going to go up the inside of Samuel Lessery, but because he's got that tight line, he can't get the drive out of the corner, and we're going to push Bryn along through that left-hander and hopefully follow Bryn through when he goes up the inside of Samuel Lessery, which he does into that right-hand. A bit of contact between the pair of them, so we're going to push Bryn along. Because my teammate in the endurance, I've got to give him, you know, a helping push, and then he just sends it up the inside of Mr. Essery. We won't comment about the contact because once you see the B final, people can comment about my contact. We go around the outside of Samuel Lessery, though. We'll focus on that banging move from myself as we gain the position. And now I'm just thinking, right, I need to stick to the back of Bryn, catch up to Steph, and hopefully catch up to Adam Britton, who is at the very front of this field as we go through the double right-hander. A little bit too tight. We don't carry enough speed into the corner, so we don't carry speed in, and because we take the tight line, we don't carry the speed out. Bryn has a little look over his shoulder. Yes, Bryn, I am still here. Howdy. Steph wallops a tyre cone. Also, I've just realised Steph, he's not an Arsenal fan. He's a Tottenham fan, which makes his lack of ability of winning things even more apparent. Google, when was the last time Spurs won a trophy? Anyway, we are right behind Bryn Albin as we go on to the start, finish straight, and down into turn one. Trying to stick with Bryn as Steph gets a good run. He's going to go up the inside of Mr. Blue Suit White Helmet into the double right-hander, my favourite corner on the circuit, maybe even one of my favourite corners on the calendar. Actually, we're going to follow Bryn through, and poor Mr. Blue Suit loses 3 positions in one go. We end up missing the hairpin, but again, we're still in this battle, and I just want to try to follow Bryn through. And I know it's Steph. He's very defensive. He's going to put up the fight of his life against Bryn, or maybe Bryn's just going to send it into the hairpin. And to be fair to Bryn, Bryn has been absolutely rapid. Steph tries to get the drive off the corner, can't get up the inside. Bryn's going to go defensive, and we're just kind of following this, seeing, okay, what's going to happen? Where can we go? Again, have to sit behind Steph. Can we get a good run? We can. We make a little bit of contact with the back of Steph's car, so we just end up falling back a little bit because we don't carry all of our momentum out of the corner. Skipping forward, though, here on lap 5, a lap further up the road. We're right on the back of Steph through the right-hander, but we don't quite get the drive. Can we go up the inside? No, we back out of the move, and we're going to look to get a good run out of this right-hander to pull off the funkiest move at Ellough Park, up the inside into the final corner. Juicy does it. You can let the cart go all the way out because JV said in briefing they are not running track limits at that corner, so we are going to abuse the track limits at that corner. You know, give us drivers an inch and we will take a yard, I think the saying goes, or maybe it's give us a centimetre and we'll take an inch. By the way, we're ahead, and I was thinking, haha, I got you, Steph. How do you like that one? And Steph just very rudely sends it up my inside and says, hey, I'm still here. And I say, God damn it. So now we've got to sit behind Steph a little bit longer. Very nice move from Steph. I thought we could maybe get the switch back, but it didn't quite work out. So we've got to slot in behind Steph and try to plot our vengeance and our way through. I don't think Steph was too happy that we beat him in that previous heat, and he wanted to beat us in a heat. And here on lap 8, I actually thought this was the last lap of the race, so I was thinking, oh, it's over. Steph then makes a mistake, and I think, right, last lap, up the inside, job done, what a move. And I actually celebrated when I came over the line, and then I realised we're now going on to the final lap, so I thought, oh shit, right, one more lap, let's push and see what we can do. Lap 9 of the race, Bryn is gone. All that matters is that I keep Mr. Theodoru behind us as we go into the double right-hander. And now I think, right, Steph's going to send me into this corner, so we have to go defensive. I have a little look over my shoulder. I saw that Steph was on my outside, so that means I can pull back over to the outside without the threat of him sending it up my inside. And here, I had a look over my shoulder. I had a decent gap to Steph, so I was like, right, okay, Steph shouldn't be able to catch me. I'll have a look over my shoulder after this corner, see whether he's within striking range. He wasn't, so I'm able to go into the penultimate corner. And I was like, right, it's done. We go into the final corner, and then I realized Steph from 20 million miles back sends it up my inside, but we're too good, we're too cool, and we're calm, we're collected. We get the switch back, and we take the position nonetheless. Either way, an absolutely fantastic battle with Steph. One of my favorite, I think, of the season so far, and it was done really cleanly between the pair of us. No contact, a lot of room and respect given. And just an epic battle, really, to round off our final heat at Ellough Park. And with that, we can now head on in to the final race of the day. The finals, and as always, guys, I will keep this final 100% unedited. I quite like to clip the heats and then say, right, for the final, you get to see everything that I had to do. This is the B final because it turns out when you get excluded from a heat for whatever reason, penalties, underweight, you get 0 points. So it's not even like you finished 15th, you get nothing. If it wasn't for that exclusion, I would have been starting 12th to 15th in the A final. Instead, I'm starting 18th in the B final. And, you know, once I saw I was in the B final, I thought, right, I need to channel my inner Wilton Mill again. I have to go 100%, because if I don't get through the A final, it's pointless. I might as well just not race. Okay, a bit harsh, but I need the championship points. To get the championship points, I need to get into the A final. It is do or die. We find a space to the inside, and to be honest, we should not have gone across before the start-finish line. That's a little bit naughty. But we're up the inside, we gain a few places, we're pushing Mr. White Helmet Long, searching for a way through as we go through the double right-hander. No space for us to send it up the inside, but we eventually make our way through, and we're going to go up the inside as well into this left-hander. A bit of contact on the back of, I believe that's Justin Draper. I'd like to say that we helped him along up the inside into the left hand, and we're going to follow Justin Draper through as well. We have gone from 18th up into 11th place. It is a mega start. It's fantastic, and we have to keep on going. 110%. We go through the right-hander and now into the left, and I think, you know what, we're going to send it, and then the rear's locked. And at this point, I kind of saw my life, the day, flash before my eyes, and I just couldn't believe I'd done that. You know, I'd been doing that move all day long, and then to do that on the first lap when I was so far up the field, and at this point I just thought, well, I don't have anything to lose. I didn't have anything to lose before. I kind of knew I was going to do this, and I either win by the fire or I get burnt in the process. And if I get burnt, then I get burnt, but it doesn't make it hurt any less having made such a stupid mistake. It's very easy to kind of in hindsight say, you know, you should have just waited another corner, but I went in with the mindset of, if an opportunity presents itself, I will go for the move every single time, because that's the only way I get through. Just like here, we send it into the hairpin. It's a beautiful move. And yeah, it's just unfortunate, because I know the pace that I had, I know that I felt quick, and it's just a shame, because if I had actually made it to the A final from 18, that would have just been it would have been an amazing drive. And I think I could have done it as well. Even though Mike Coppin was in this heat, I still think it would have been possible for me to do it. But anyway, we've caught back up to this large field of karts as we go into the left-hander, and we get a decent run. But as you can see, we don't have the kart. We actually lose a little bit on corner exit. We give a little tap through the left-hander. We can't quite get alongside going into this hairpin. A little bit of a push on the apex. To be fair, I was a little bit muscly in this race. Yeah, I think that was a bit of a push to pass, which I probably got a contact warning before, unsurprisingly. We get a good run though through the final corner onto the start-finish straight as we try to get a bit of slipstream on the back of our fellow Yusuf Carter. I'm gonna, you know what? I think it's Yusuf Soer Hajan, if I remember correctly. Also, Yusuf, I'm sorry, I just always forget how your surname is spelled, and I don't have it up at the moment, so I can't check, but we're going to send it up the inside. You know we're going to do it. It's the B final. We got to go for the move. Job done. And to be honest, I think that was a banging move as well. And now we've got to catch up to the rest of the drivers up ahead. And this is, what, a 5-car battle for P17 or something. I think someone has spun on the outside. I don't know how they ended up there. We're within striking distance. So, of course, we're going to send it up the inside because that's what we have to do. And, yeah, to be honest, it's one of the things I kind of look back at this race afterwards and thought, I can learn a lot from this because I had decent pace, and if only I had this kind of mindset of just go for the moves, right? Have confidence in my own ability that I can make these kind of moves work. If we go up the inside of turn 1, we gain another position. We're now closing in on the double right-hander. But then we lose a bit of time on exit, and that's fine because we gain so much going into the corner, and it's not a really long straight on corner exit, so I don't really care too much about the exit speed. Plus, as we saw, I think we're losing a little bit on exit as this is battle in front. I was thinking, do I go to the inside? But I can see that the driver in front might look to the inside himself, so the opportunity won't present itself. And now I want to go up the inside into the final corner. He's going to go defensive. I'm a nutter, so I try to go around the outside. That obviously fails. So, yeah, to be honest, I think that was my main mistake here at Ellough. I, for some reason, had this stupid idea, this fantasy, that I could keep overtaking people around the outside. And unsurprisingly, you can't really overtake people around the outside. So, I don't know why I kept trying to do it, but I guess I thought, the race is already over. How cool would it look if I overtook this person around the outside? So I just kept trying to overtake people around the outside, because I did it once in the first heat of the day. And I couldn't really replicate it. So, yeah, it is what it is. We're catching back up to Mr. Funky Helmet. I should have sent it up the inside here. Oh, I actually do send it up the inside here. And then he cuts the corner. And I was like, Nani? What have you done? So, we're obviously going to send it up his inside. He then turns into me. And, yeah. Okay, I know people are going to hate on me for that. And fair enough, it looks bad. But my guy turns in on me, and if anyone's been in the car, when someone turns in on you, it means that you end up getting kind of spat out wider. You have to open up the steering. I did that move on Steph. Steph sees me coming. Steph leaves the room. Steph sent it on me from even further back. I see him coming, leave the room, get the switch back. Do it on somebody here, and they turn in, and then they think, I'll try to hang it around the outside and drive into the tyre barriers. So, I would like to apologise to them that their race was ruined, but there's someone on your inside, don't turn in, just get the switch back. So, I got a penalty for it, and I know why they gave me a penalty for it, but I'm somewhat unapologetic that somebody wants to turn in on me in a move that I've been seen being done all day, that I have done all day, and that other people had done on me without any issues until that one. We go up the inside, though, into the double right-hander because I don't want to harp on about that one move for too long. And then another position has been gained, and we're now closing in up to Mr. White Helmet, who was actually very kind to me later on in the race. And it goes a little bit wide, actually, but I'll get onto that later. I was thinking, do I go up the inside? A bit too far back. We're going to sit behind. We're going to get the exit. They outbrake themselves, and they just fly out of the corner. So maybe I'm taking that corner wrong. I don't know, but yeah, lost a little bit of time on corner exit as we're closing in, going into this left-hand, the final corner. Again, we get a decent run. We're in the slipstream, and yeah, we're not catching up. But then he sees me, and he's like, "You can go through," and I'm like, "But I wanted to overtake you. But thank you for letting me through." Because I knew I had penalties, so I couldn't make it into the B final. So I do appreciate the gesture, though. But now we're closing in, I believe, on to Harrison Earl, as he goes a little bit wide, and now we are right on the back of Harrison, and I give him a little push going into the corner. The extra speed means that he goes a bit wide. We are now on the outside, tiny bit of contact between us, so I don't mind that, but then going through here, he gives me a bit of a push, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to go around the tyre barriers because I want to keep on going up through the field. If that was in a heat, I might have said, I'll sit behind you. As the case was, Harrison actually got the penalty for the contact and pushing me towards the tyre barrier. In the same way, I got my penalty in Heat 1 through hairpin 1. So whether you agree or disagree with it, it is consistent with how I got my own penalty in Heat 1, which is just a case of kind of side-on-side contact. To be honest, I think looking at it, I think Harrison did somewhat use me to stop himself going wide. I don't know. There was contact. If I wasn't there, Harrison would have gone wider, and it meant that I had to kind of avoid the tyre barrier. So it is what it is. I'll let people make their own opinions on it. But we are on lap 10, and we're closing up to this battle, which is for P12. And this is where I was at the start of the race, and I can kind of see that the group up ahead, which is the battle for 6th, which is literally where I would have been if I didn't bottle it on the opening lap. So this entire race, I'm just kind of kicking myself. Not physically, because, you know, I'm sat in a go-kart, but I'm mentally, figuratively kicking myself, because I'm just thinking what could have been. And the entire race I was just thinking, I could have done it. I could have made it to the A final. But it is what it is. It is unfortunate. It's my own mistakes. You know, trial by fire, and I burnt in this particular case, which means that I've now been in 3 B finals this year, 2 of which I've been excluded in, and the other one I qualified for the A final. That one was at Shenington, as we're closing up to this group of karts up ahead. We go a little bit wide. That's going to cost us a 10th or so. But I want you guys to have a look at this next lap, lap 12, because I think this is my best lap of the day. I think you've already seen that this car is lacking a little bit in acceleration. We've kind of seen us getting a better exits than drivers in front and then falling back on the straight. And this is a 50.4. And I genuinely think this lap is a 50.1. And you'll see why. I think we absolutely hook up turn 1 into this double right-hander. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see how much time we're gaining up to the karts in front. Jump onto the brakes, into the hairpin, on the power, don't take too much curb, let the kart out, and again, we are really closing into this group in front, completely flat through this left-hander, ride right over the curb, fully over the flat curb, and then jump onto the brakes, on the power as early as possible, opening up the steering. We're closing in, and as you can tell, we're going to get held up on the brakes down into the hairpin. It's nice, it's juicy, and then the final corner, look how far we fall back because of the little contact we had. If we were on the back of him, which I think I could have been if he wasn't there, that would have been a 50.0. We have to have lost like 4 tenths in the process. So I'm just thinking, like, that lap, that 50.4, with the exception of the final corner, that had to be one of like the quickest laps of the day, because the fastest lap of the day was a 49.9 done by Dante Dillon, and he had a good part in that heat, and that lap was, at the minimum, we lost 2-3 tenths, so that would have been a 50.1. So watching that lap back, that I genuinely think was an absolute like mega lap. But anyway, we've got a little bit of a battle up ahead. We're closing into Mr. Red, so I wanted to go up the inside. I make contact. I lifted off here. You can see that I lift off because I don't want to take the position. That's on me. You know, I am a fair driver. You know, when I do make boo-boos, I do give up the positions, and then as I'm going up the inside, he comes across me because he's mad about the contact going into the hairpin. So I'm like, all right, let's go for it. If you want to be, you know, nice and physical contact, we're going to send it. Even if we're back, we're going to send it up the inside into the hairpin. We make it work. A very nice move, but he gets a really nice switchback. See what happens when you don't try to hang it round the outside and then go into a tie barrier? If you get a nice switchback, you just get the position. And now I'm thinking, damn it, I completely fluffed that up. We get a good run though out of the hairpin, and we're going to go up the inside. This time we're not going to overshoot. We're going to get it stopped on the apex, get a good run. And now we're heading into the final lap of the race, and we've got Mr. Nicolas Lacasas in front of us. And I'm thinking, can I catch Nick? 1 lap to go. What do we reckon? He misses the apex of turn 1. We miss the apex of turn 1 because I'm very smart and definitely wasn't over pushing into this last lap. But look how much we gain on the entry into turn 2 and a little bit on the exit of a turn 3. The chase is well and truly on. He kind of sticks the rear out a little bit under braking and on the apex, and we do as well. But we are closing in. There is hope. There is a chance. Do we send it up the right-hander? No, we don't, because that would be absolutely crazy. And I already took out Nick in the previous at Buckmore. We're going to send it up the inside into the hairpin. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. But Nicholas had other ideas. He sends it up my inside. I don't hang it round the outside. You know, common theme. We go for the switchback, and we take the position, drag it to the line. I will happily take that. But yeah, it is what it is. I think It was an unfortunate day. We managed to get a 2nd place, which is decent for the championship. There was a 4th place as well, or a 5th place as well. But at the end of the day, it was a really bad kind of overall final, right? An exclusion in Heat 1 for being underweight, exclusion in this B final. Not that the exclusion mattered, even if I came 10th, it's still a drop score. So it is what it is. I think we had some really, really good battles. I made some mistakes, you know, that penalty that I got in Heat 1 was definitely deserved. But yeah, overall, there's a lot of positives that I can take from Ellough. So I'm hoping that the next round at Wilton Mill, we kind of take this aggression, we manage it a bit and we use it wisely. And I think we can be in for a really good result at Wilton and a really good end for the season at Bucknell. But thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.